Dio porco. Bestemmio, vero? Sei friulano, cioè sei veneto, scusami.
No.
Dove sei?
A di? Trestino.
Ah, e allora?
Però lavoro qui.
No, from Australia. Oh yes, yeah. Salvador,
Dai, Dio.
grazie.
No? Oh.
You know it's surname. I know, but I couldn't get anyone. I couldn't anyone to give me what and then that. So I'm going to correct it, but I tried to do it at the time. I'm looking around. All I wanted was someone to give me that and that, or one and one, or you know what I mean, or that. But I couldn't get anyone to do it. And this is the problem. No, really close. But if you see something, spot me. I will. Yeah, correct. I will. I'm going to do it now. Appreciate it.
We have also we are having
Jason Costigan with you. We hope you enjoyed our first half coverage. We were a little bit late to the party due to some transmission problems, but hopefully we're coming through loud and clear in all four corners of the rugby league universe. Half-time has come and gone. It's Ukraine leading by 2 points after 40 minutes. Right now, as I speak, Italy 14, Ukraine 16, and second half action about to get underway. Ukraine running from right to left on your screen. Referee checking with the timepiece. We are back underway. So the Ukrainians with first use of the ball in the second stanza. And it would be remiss of me not to point out a mistake. I probably made plenty in that first 40 minutes, but we didn't get the teams with numbers until, well, an hour before kickoff. Talk about flying by the seat of your pants. And it's exactly that, and then some. But in that first half, the opening try scored by the Italians actually was scored by Leonard Plati, who's in the West Tigers system. Here's Ukraine with a bust, and on the attack with one more tackle to play with. So we'll stick with the action. before we just correct that mistake. Here's Ukraine making some big inroads. The ball went back. Gromov's got the ball. That's the fullback playing with his brother here today, brother Owen. The kick has been gobbled up in the in goal. And so it's a 7-tackle restart here for the Italians. And it should be a penalty because the Ukrainians stopped the Italian player from rushing back. Is he going to put him in the sin bin? Here we go, folks. I tell you what, I'm not sure if everyone's had a cup of coffee, but this is going to be a big call. One of the Ukrainians has been sent to the bin for impeding the Italian player in coming back for a quick tap restart. And it's Skorbach, the 38-year-old Ukrainian rugby league legend. Well, he's been told to suck eggs by the French referee. Can you believe it? There was really not a lot in it. I thought there was a penalty. And the referee, well, I'll tell you what, this is rejoicing stuff here for the Italians because guess what, folks? They are not complaining. Well, mark that down in your notebooks as a potential turning point. Ukraine down to 12 players with Skorbach having to cool his heels in the sin bin, sitting down right in front of the paramedic, right in front of the ambulance on the other side of the field, the top right of your screen. That's where he's sitting, eating some humble pie. Well, doing something, but he's not playing. And that's a big blow to Ukraine, losing their captain and their standoff. So Italy have got the ball, and Biondi plays it. And I did say in the first half that he was the try scorer, the first try scorer. That was my mistake. It was actually scored by Leonard Plati, who has spent this year playing Jersey Fleet for the West Tigers. So to the Plati family, my apologies. I just got the thumbs up from Dad. Again, my mistake, I'll own that. And speaking of dads, at half-time, I kid you not, he didn't join us in commentary, but he parked his backside right next to me, come up to say hello with his wife. And I'm talking about Ivan Cleary, the 4-time premiership winning coach of Penrith, but more importantly today, the proud father of Jet, playing for Ukraine. Here's Italy on the attack, and it's Gallinaro. Lanzo at dummy half, providing some service for Nati, and he keeps it going. So Italy with a one-man advantage here, trailing by 2. There's a shift. Nati's got the ball. He keeps it going. Now the fullback, Piccirilli. My apologies again. On their own goal line. Here comes the scrum half in Nati. And they hold firm, Ukraine. Well, their defence, outstanding. Some serious scrambling going on there for the tourists, and they hold firm. And have a look at some of their players. They look to be out on their feet, at least a couple of them. And the Azzurri now looking to muscle up in defence at the southern end of the ground. Ukraine leading by 2. Oh, great metres. Straight up the middle. The most direct way to the opponent's goal line. And it's a penalty. Well, it was a penalty every day of the week. And Leo Epifania, that paramedic might have to come over to see the coaching staff for Italy because he might have cardiac arrest. Tell you what, Leo Epifania and the Azzurri needed that penalty like a hole in the head. Ukraine with the touch finder. So they pitched the tent about 5 metres into enemy territory, the Ukrainians. This is Lubomir Beznashuk. I've called a bit of him in recent years, playing 13s and 9s. In fact, I've been calling the Ukrainian Rugby League even before the Russians invaded. So I have my own little connection with the team in possession and some of their players. Ukraine posing some questions out wide. Ukraine with Jennison a dummy half. Going across now to Kozak. Kozak's not far from the line. He gets a penalty for his troubles. in the corner. Now, surely to goodness, if Ukraine have got any common sense, it's a tap and go here. There's no need to have a cappuccino. And have a look at this. They haven't got even anyone organised for tap the ball. Now we're back underway. Ukraine, with a man down, Skorbac in the sin bin, but they find themselves 10 metres away. Cleary going across to his fullback in Picharilli. I beg your pardon, in Gromov. My apologies, Gromov. It's been a long day. Travel and footy all rolled into one. Ukraine going close, held up surely as the call. No try, held up. The referee in good position. I know we carved him up a few minutes ago, but the Pink Panther, if you like. I'm not talking about Ivan Cleary and the Panthers. I'm talking about the referee. Here we go. Ukraine with an overlap. They must score in the corner. And they get there. Ukraine score. Zazimko goes in for Ukraine. Can you believe it? They're a man down and they still found an overlap. Unbelievable stuff. Despite that advantage, the Ukrainians with a shift to the left and Zazimko, Zazimko, getting the ball down in the corner. And so the lead becomes a converted try with a tough kick coming up from the sideline. Plenty of clock left in this one. And I'll tell you what, no one's going home early. Although if you tempt me with the tiramisu, I could be looking for some sort of a replacement. I've got a couple of people in mind. They get nervous when you start looking at them like that. So the shot at goal coming up for the scrum half for Ukraine and their superstar player in Jet Cleary. As I mentioned in the first half, he's been a standout player for the New Zealand Warriors in the second tier in the New South Wales Cup, winning the grand final with the Wars, as they're often called, and then winning the national championship final against the Burleigh Bears, who are the reigning premiers from the Queensland Cup. From the sideline, oh, it's so deadly. He raises the flag, straight kick, and a big one in the context of this one. It's an 8-point buffer, Ukraine over the Azzurri. 22 plays 14. That is a big kick. A 2-score affair it has become. And now all the pressure on the Azzurri. You get the impression that Italy must be next to score to stay in this one. That was a great kick from Cleary. And it never looked like missing, did it? We are back underway in Udine, in northern Italy, on a glorious Saturday afternoon. Ukraine looking to keep it simple after coming up with points, no doubt wanting to get to their kick. He lost the ball. Well, there's the mistake that the Italians were sweating on. And their prayers have been answered.
No.
So the Ukrainians, just to remind everybody, they are still No, they're not. They are still down. They've lost the ball. Have they, Italy? They've lost the ball. They could not even get to play tackle number one, play number one, and they spill the pill. Well, the Italians, they are digging their own grave here in Udine. If they keep this up, they can ring the local undertaker. I'm sure he'll appreciate the assistance. Leo Epifania, I'm not sure what he's chewing or eating. He might have asked the team manager to go down and get some Panadol. Speaking of which, a big shout out to Taz Batiri, long-time team manager and International Rugby League Pied Piper. He's not here with the Azzurri on this occasion, but one of the great men of the international game in the greatest game of all. Big shout out to Taz Batiri. We'll be watching on from afar as we see Ukraine going straight up Main Street. Cleary in traffic, offloading, going to the right side. Besnashuk. He's been a thorn in the side of that left side defence for Italy all afternoon. Cleary. Oh, good tackle. Great stop it was. One more to play with here, Ukraine. Cleary at dummy half goes to Besnashuk. A little kick over the top. They got the ball back, and I think they've gone close to scoring. Or did they? No, knock on. No try. It was a near thing for the Azzurri. No bunker here in Udine. Some would say, thank goodness for that. So it's a let-off for Italy. They'll come back to the 20-metre line. Hope you're enjoying our coverage live and free from this magnificent part of the world. I've had the pleasure of spending the last couple of days in northern Italy, in Milano, Verona, Udine today, this afternoon, and in the coming days, places like Trieste and Venice. And when you can come and enjoy a game of rugby league along the way, well, that's the icing on the cake in the eyes of many of us. Italy looking a bit ragged here in possession. Ukraine, they haven't stopped in terms of their defensive pressure. They are relentless. They have been relentless. There's a cutout pass out wide and trying to go around the outside, but there's no way through up to halfway. Here's the last. Will they get to their kick? Italy surely will get to their kick. Well, they forgot the rules, or they have an issue with their eyesight. I can't believe that. They're down by, 8 points, and they did not realise the last was upon them. Well, I spoke about Leo Epifania needing some tablets. He might need something a bit stiffer. He might have swapped the pharmacy for the local tavern. Or at least that might be the approach post-match. Because Leo Epifania, who's been around rugby league for a long time, probably knows his team is right under the pump as we speak. And Ukraine with Squanders back on the field after spending 10 in the bin. Oh, great ball. Nice work there from Squanders. And Popoluk goes to ground. Lost the ball, in fact. Lost the ball. So only the one try in the second stanza so far. Scored by Zizimko in the northwestern corner of the ground. Converted by Jet Cleary, who I've got to say, and not surprisingly, has been best on ground if you stop the match now, the man of the match is Jet Cleary. I'm not sure if there's an award for that person here today, but in his second match for Ukraine, oh my goodness! We went from rugby to soccer, and along the way we saw a circus. What a comedy of errors that was. Play one. I've seen some of the worst play ones in a long time here today. And we've got an injured player, which is, of course, nothing to laugh about, but that was comical, crazy, and careless, all rolled into one. So the medical staff clearly showing some concern here for the injured player. And just a reminder that this coming Wednesday at this same venue, we have Ukraine backing up to play Greece as the Euros continue. And this time next week, again at this venue, it's two old rivals going head-to-head with Italy looking to reload, I dare say, against the Greeks. So a couple of big games to look forward to. The player who's been injured looks to be okay. He's up on his feet and being escorted from the ground, or at least from the field. And he looks to be okay. We're up in the top deck of the grandstand here in our makeshift commentary position. But the player being escorted from the field, and that's Jackson Lenzo. He plays for the Western Clydesdales in the Queensland Cup, the injured player. We wish him well. Of course, a big year coming up next year with the Walker brothers taking over the coaching reins in the Garden City of Toowoomba. That's the second-tier competition in Australia in the Sunshine State, which is Queensland. So we wish Jackson Lenzo all the best as he goes to the sideline, probably as a precautionary measure after that mishap on the field. So Ukraine got a penalty after all that. And 10 metres out, here they go with a set move. A trick shot, I thought, at the last second. There's a player screaming through down the short side in Popoluk, but it went elsewhere. They go the right side. Cleary's got the ball, not for long. He keeps it alive. And Italy on their own goal line. Here comes Ukraine. Ukraine looking to seal the deal here. They're not far away. This is Gromov. That's Owen, I believe. He plays it back. It comes to Cleary at first receiver. Scorbutch. Scorbutch, a dummy. Scorbutch, the pass. And there's the match winner. There's the try. And Ukraine come up with points. And it's a double to Zazimko. Zazimko gets a brace. And I dare say Ukraine have sunk the Azzurri. Nice work it was from Scorbutch. And the Italian defence, well, they didn't know what he was doing. In fact, if you ask some of the Ukrainian players, they probably think the same. He's such a magician, Scorbutch, 38 years of age. I'll tell you what, I'll call it now. He is the Clipping Lions of Ukrainian Rugby League. I reckon he could play on into his 40s, Scorbutch. He's won just about every trophy on offer in Ukraine. He keeps himself in great nick, and we've actually had the opportunity to chat to Alexander online over the, I think 3, 4, 5 years, a while anyway. It was before the war started, and today a real thrill for yours truly because we got to meet Alexander before kickoff down on the sideline. So a great moment for him. I know that speaking through an interpreter, he was very excited to be playing alongside the man kicking the ball here in Jet Cleary. And Cleary moves in. A couple of metres in from touch. It's borderline. Waved away. So no goal. It was close, but no goal. And so it remains a 2-score game at 26-14. I can't see Italy coming back, but I'm happy to be proven otherwise. Into the next chapter we go. Scorbatch with the catch, and Ukraine with their tails up. The body language for both teams in this set will be interesting to observe. Italy looking to force the mistake. I tell you what, Ukraine, they are on a mission. Good contest there. Great contest it was between two rival players. Davide Cola for Italy and Kozak for Ukraine going at it. That pass has been fumbled, a little knock on. We'll come back for that knock on. So that's the mistake that Italy wanted, but the challenge is, can Italy actually get to their kick? Can they complete here? Because they have been, as I say, their own worst enemies. I don't want to be seen to be condescending here or overly critical, but they have mucked things up on so many occasions early in the count and consequently failed to put pressure on the Ukrainian defensive line. Italy have not scored in this second half. Can they do it on this set to keep this game alive? 6 to go. They ideally like a penalty here to get some better field position, but their forwards have to do the work. That's the way it rolls. The referee making that call. Referee Enzo Pire from the south of France. The Azzurri now within 10 metres of their opponent's goal line. Shift to the left. Comes across to Nati. Oh, he gets barrel for his troubles. Nati goes absolutely nowhere. And now going straight up the middle. Lenars. Does Lenars get there? Well, he gets a penalty for his troubles. Right in front of the sticks. They'll be looking for a quick tap here. There's no need for a committee meeting. The referee's going to say, take it back. No. Right there. 2 metres out from the goal line. Ball comes across to Cola. Davide Cola, right in front of the sticks, southern end of the ground. It comes across to Nati. Damien Nati from the Hills Bulls, playing in the Ron Massey Cup. Well, they're taking you back to Sydney if they keep that up. He's in reverse. Lenars a dummy half. Going the left side. Italy asking some questions. 6 to go is the call. Play on. In fact, it's Ukraine in possession. So Italy, again, they can't get to their kick. They can't put any pressure on Ukraine. They can't crack this egg. Oh, the biggest tackle of the game. My goodness. Holy dooly, did you see that or what? Bellissimo. Big shot. Great shot. Tackle of the game. Where was that in the first half? More of that is required from Italy. Inspirational defence it was. Ukraine playing it safe. 39 out from their own goal line. Ukraine leading by 2 converted tries. They need to go downtown here. That's what the message was. Good take it is on the part here of Piccirilli. He got rid of one. But look at the chase. Look at that chase. Coming downfield like men possessed. Ukraine. Tightening the screws. Oh, the pass is a shocker. Terrible service. Well, I've been to some restaurants in Europe in the last 3 weeks. I never had service like that. Quite the opposite. There's an overlap here for Ukraine, and the wheels are falling off Italy and Ukraine with the knockout blow. And Ukraine will get the win against the Azzurri here in northern Italy. They come up with another try, their third for the second stanza, to put the Azzurri to sleep. Not sure who the try scorer was. It happened a long, long way from where we are. And that makes it 30 points to 14. Italy 14, Ukraine 30. The Italians held scoreless in the second half. And remembering that the home side got the scoring underway and led for more than one occasion in what was rather a seesawing affair in the opening 40 minutes. Back and forth it sure was. But in the second half, Ukraine have owned it. So whatever Dan Beardshaw, the Ukrainian coach, had to say at halftime, it certainly has worked. Hats off also to his coaching staff, Billy Hayward, who's involved in Group 6 Rugby League, MacArthur Rugby League in Sydney Southwest. Great kick from the sideline, Scorbutch, the master. Has he got a lovely technique or what? How he just launches that ball off the tee from the sideline. It never looked like missing. Touch judges standing their ground, and up went the flags. Another restart for Italy. This game well and truly winding down. Big thank you to our production team here in Udine. Small team, but hard-working team, and getting the show happening. Not quite at the last minute, but at the 11th hour, as they say in the classics. And so our thanks to them and everybody involved, also to the host nation, the Italian Rugby League Federation, or FURL, for their warm hospitality, and to President Paolo and his fellow volunteers. We say grazie, a big thank you. And also to the Ukrainians. Great to catch up with a number of the players who I've had the pleasure and privilege of calling in recent times, both for club and country. Penalty here against Italy. All out of frustration. And so the man of the moment in Cleary with the touch finder. Besnichuk coming in. And now we have the Ukrainians on the attack with Pocatello, and some good follow-up from the tourists. Cleary, Besnichuk. Pass looked to go flat, maybe forward, but play on's the call. The touchy was in very good position to make the call. They're in the northeastern corner of the field, a long way, very long way from where we are. No monitors or replays for this outside broadcast. All with the naked eye. Scorbutch, double cutout pass, bouncing ball. Should be play on. It's come off the chest, I do believe, of David Zazimko, and it is play on. Playing the ball back. Kozak. Teretsko, 12 metres away. Here comes the last. They lead by 18 points. Cleary for the line. Offloads out the back door. They keep it going. It comes across now to Pochettino, and he will have to surrender the pill. So Italy out on their feet, but somehow holding firm. Biondi, who has toiled all afternoon, but all to no avail. His team trailing by 2 points at the interval, but being overrun in the second period by a very motivated and clinical Ukrainian side. Here's some danger here for Ukraine, right here, but they get the bounce. Cleary is back there. Cleary cleans up. And Cleary is held by the defence. 32 out from the Italian goal line. The ramrod on this occasion is Karpenko. So full time, not too far away here in Ordinay. Again, a big thank you to all concerned for putting the show on today. And the action continues, of course, as I say, on Wednesday. But right now, Ukraine are looking to finish with a little flurry just to rub it in, but it breaks down for them. The idea was spot on, but that polish just found wanting. Scorbutch, again, the architect, as they come this left side, but it breaks down for the Ukrainians. Plenty for them to work on, no doubt. With the match against Greece coming up. Greece, of course, having been involved in the last World Cup and their own unique story in rugby league, because not so long ago, rugby league in Greece was actually banned. We had the police turning up at rugby league games in Greece. Quite incredible, that story. The game was outlawed, and then, like the flick of a switch, they got the green light and the game was recognised just before the World Cup. And so, well done to all those people involved. To our good friend Terry Liperopoulos and the Greek Rugby League Federation. Here's a chip over the top. Oh, here we go! A brilliant try for Italy. A try of the game. Lenzo. I think it was Lenzo getting the try. Backyard rugby league. Something you dream about. Scoring a try like that in a test match. Well, I'll tell you what, in the years to come, he can tell his kids and grandkids about the day that Italy was down for the count and they were going to get done like a dinner, and he came up with a magical try at the back end of the contest. Beautiful try it was, converted as well. That adds a little bit more respectability, if you like, to the scoreboard. 32 plays 20 here in Ordinay. Lenzo, the try scorer. from the Western Clydesdales, as I said earlier, in the Queensland Cup. And I reckon the incoming coaching staff, the Walker brothers, Shane and Ben, not sure if they're watching, late on a Saturday night. In fact, make that early hours of Sunday morning. I'm sure that's the sort of rugby league that they'd like to see the Clydesdales playing next season in the Queensland Cup. But a nice moment there for Jackson Lenzo for Italy, scoring a scintillating solo try, a crackerjack try, and that gave the fans here something to cheer about. Certainly the big contingent of locals that has turned out. The crowd, I've got to say, is a little bit bigger than what I thought it would be.
Bel taglio, Ciolla.
Cola goes up the middle again. Davide. I tell you what, after the full-time siren goes, he deserves a cola, a Coca-Cola. Nati is put away by the Ukrainian defence. The sting has certainly been taken out of this game quite some time ago. The last has been signalled. Nati providing the kick. Bouncing ball. It's been retrieved by the winger in Vedla, the right winger. He beats two. Oh, great kick return from Vedla. Fantastic kick return from one of the try scorers here today. Ukraine, 5 short of halfway, leading 32 points to 20. It's been an enjoyable game to call. Certainly not pure rugby league, top-notch rugby league, but it's been entertaining to watch for the best part of the contest. That first half, as I say, a seesawing affair, back and forth. As we see Ukraine going up the middle once more. But the second half certainly dominated by the tourists. The second match of their European tour. The kick at the back. Well, it's been spilt, and Ukraine claim 4 points, and the referee's going to give it. So another 4 points for Ukraine, adjacent to the uprights, makes it 36 points to 20 with the kick to come. And full time must be just around the corner. I mentioned a number of times today Leo Epifania, but let's also acknowledge Gioli Celerino, who's also working alongside closely Leo Epifania with the coaching staff. Gioli effectively is, for want of a better term, coach of the Italian domestic team, or we say in the Southern Hemisphere, the Italian residence team. So I know that speaking to Gioli some months ago, doing a lot of work on the ground here to promote rugby league in this part of Italy. So hats off to Gioli for his work and spreading the gospel, as I say. So another 2 points off the boot of Scorbutch. And it's blowing out now, 38 points to 20, a 3 converted try margin, which is only fair given what we've seen this afternoon. The Italians have been well and truly outplayed. They've been outgunned. They've kept plugging away. We'll give some credit to them here. They've kept plugging away, but the firepower of the Ukrainians, the commitment of the Ukrainians, and let's not kid ourselves, the skill of Jet Cleary. A massive difference between these two teams. Cleary running the show for Ukraine in his second international. Mum and Dad in the house. both Beck and Ivan Cleary watching on from the grandstand here. Great to have them come up and say hello at half time. And just to quote Ivan, I'm sure he won't mind me saying, he said to me at half time, "How good is rugby league?" Quote unquote. That's coming from the 4-time premiership winning coach of the Penrith Panthers, Ivan Cleary. I'll say it again. How good is rugby league? He was clearly chuffed to bits to be here as a proud dad and mum in the case of Beck watching Jet play. And I'm sure they would not have missed this for quids. And of course, next Saturday they get the chance, probably I dare say, to see their other son Nathan play for the Kangaroos at Wembley. What a dream couple of weeks for these proud parents. Ukraine, you get the impression they are not done with just yet. They want more. Talk about being greedy. Ball comes loose. 6 to go. Play on's the call. And there's a try here once more for Ukraine. They get the try. The referee's going to give it. And I'm pretty sure it's Seglatano. Seglatano. Well, I'll tell you what, his mother and his auntie have just looked up at me in the grandstand. And you better believe it, folks. Reese Seglatano, out of the Blacktown Workers, has got himself a try for Ukraine against the country he used to play for. Wow, that's a beautiful moment. Fantastic moment for the family. He qualifies for Ukraine through his grandfather, his maternal grandfather, and this is his second cap for Ukraine. So such a special moment for this family as well. That's the Seglatanos, who've made the trip from the northwest of Sydney, heartland of the Parramatta Eels. Scorbutch with another 2 from point blank range, and that is all she wrote. $44 points to 20. It's been a hammering in the end, a crushing victory for Ukraine. Congratulations to them. A big victory in the end for the Ukrainians against the Azzurri here in Udine in northern Italy. And the final numbers go up on the scoreboard, 44 points to 20. The final score as the two teams embrace post-match. Outstanding sportsmanship, which is synonymous with rugby league in this part of the world, at this level especially. It was a tough game, but a fair game, and quite a good game, especially that first 40 minutes. But in the end, the Ukrainians were just far too good for the Azzurri. Ukraine led 16-14 at half-time, and in the end, they ran out convincing winners, 44 points to 20, with Jet Cleary from the New Zealand Warriors, very much the star of the show. Italy, of course, today hosting International Rugby League. Once again, 65 years after they first hosted the Kangaroos all those years ago, and the likes of Keith Barnes, John Raper, and others were in this part of the world, not too far from here. And so for Italy, the journey continues. They have a reload a week from now against Greece, whilst for Ukraine, one win from one start in this European Championship campaign. And now they set their sights on Greece on Wednesday afternoon at this very same venue. So again, congratulations to the Ukrainians who are now in a huddle, just reflecting on what they've achieved here. Ukraine ranked 15th in the world, defeating Italy, ranked 17th in the world, 44 points to 20. So again, congratulations to the Ukrainians. And as I say, another game coming up on Wednesday. That'll be Ukraine versus Greece. And as for the Azzurri, they will reload for the Greeks 7 days from now. Once again, the venue is this stadium here in Udine. On behalf of our little production team here in Udine, I'm Jason Costigan signing off. Yes, ciao for now. And we certainly hope you can join us for more International Rugby League just around the corner. But for now, it's a very good afternoon from Northern Italy.